Welcome to my channel. My name is Vera. If you're new here, please go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Hit that button. I want to talk to all of you women out there over 50 that sometimes you underestimate your superpower. You're not ever in a place where you should feel disqualified. You should recognize that you're just underestimating your brilliance. And I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can discover those areas of where you kind of sell yourself short, for lack of a better word. The first one is you always take a back seat in your own story. Let me explain. If there's a project that needs to be done, whether it could be in the family, they're planning something and they want to say, hey, let so and so do it. You'd be the first one to say, no, I'm going to throw that back at someone else. You can go ahead and delegate it because I'm done. I don't feel like I have what it takes to even get that project started. So I am going to bow out gracefully and let somebody else just take the lead. I've been there a time or two. I've written a book with a couple of wonderful ladies, and my title in that book was like talking about coming out of hiding and taking center stage. And the story pretty much goes like this. It is something that I wrote, but it's basically a personal journey that I had already been on in my life. For quite some time, I didn't realize that I was doing this, but hey, after a while I discovered, I was hiding. I was hiding in my own life because I felt so discouraged because of the different changes. And I just kind of fell to the wayside. I felt as though I was hopeless and did not have anything else to give. But I found my voice again. You see, in the ebook that I had created with all of these beautiful women, it's actually a devotional. And I talked about how, after encouraging everybody for so many years, talking to people who are hurting or going out there as a person in ministry, sharing the gospel and feeding the homeless and feeding those that may have just needed something to get them by until they were able to get paid that next week. All of those things, they, didn't mean anything to me. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't mean anything to me when it came down to me feeling discouraged at that moment, if that makes sense. I felt like everything I did was it in vain? I mean, I did it from my heart, but the point of the matter is, what happens when you come to a fork in the road where things don't go the way you plan? And it makes you kind of pull back. It makes you rethink connecting to people the way that you used to. And that's the point I'm really trying to kind of like bring on home is we start to discredit what we bring to the table, your willingness to share, your wisdom to know how to execute things and get things going or delegate things. All of those things kind of add up to that's how you know when you have really kind of like disqualified yourself because you no longer have an interest in it. Or what about the fact that in the planning stages, you're always saying, listen, I don't feel like planning nothing else. I've done that. I've been there. And it's just not me anymore. You sell yourself short because you revert back to what used to be. And I can think once again, when I went through the discouragement of having to kind of like just take a nice little eraser and erase everything that I had done in my life, pretty much, that's what it felt like to me. It was like I was sucker punched in my life. I always tell that story, but it is the reason why I enjoy helping women right now. It is not like you may not have heard some of these things, but could it be that you might need to be encouraged right now? I needed to be encouraged. And at that time, I didn't even want to hear about being encouraged because I was just like, I've heard that. I probably even said that to someone about encouraging them that things can change, you can move on, you can get up from there. But do you really believe it? There are times when we need to have that person come alongside us and maybe just sit there, don't even say anything, but just be in your presence to let you know that they really support where you are in your journey in life. I know you may feel like, wow, I don't qualify for that position because, there's a such thing now as ageism. And because of the state of the world that we're in, a lot of things have changed. And so you kind of like say, well, I'm not even going to try. But I'm here to encourage you that you still have what it takes. You may be in that transition in your life, but transitioning means that you are moving through something. You're not being stuck. The only way that you can be stuck is your perspective of the matter that you're going through. I had to recognize that things will not change, they will not shift. I will not get into the driver's seat unless I get out of the sidelines. And that's what I'm saying to you today. Don't disqualify yourself by underestimating what you bring to the table. Your brilliance, your exquisite thought about things, right? The way that you can bring people together. Or how about how you can create things with your hands? You might be a great decorator. These are the things that are still needed. You're still worth every bit of what you believe on the inside. Don't allow the weeds of life to snuff out that soft side of you. There was a time when I felt like I didn't want to be that person that encouraged others. I didn't want to always say, "You're doing a good job." I had my moment where I needed someone to pour into me. And like I am speaking to you right now, I don't know what juncture you are in your life, but I do know this, that we all go through a process. And that process at times can truly lead you to doubt yourself, even in your 50s. We try to put on facades, we try to put on masks to kind of like go into a cave. And we knows what happens when you go into a cave. When you go into that place, you start to really feel hopeless, as if you don't matter, but you do matter. And everything about you exudes brilliance. You just got to let your light shine again. Got to come out of that funk. I don't know where you're at in your mental state right now, but I know that you still have purpose. And purpose can be kind of like blurry if we've lost our way, if we lost our path, if we've gotten into a place where we are not seeing other things, we're not getting outside, getting enough fresh air, or getting enough walking in, right? Getting around people who are like minded and moving forward in their juncture of their life. Therefore, I want to let you know that this is not the time, it's not the season. It is not even you are not giving your best self to the world if you shrink back in this chapter of your life. I want to encourage you. I want to build you up. But more than that, you've got to find the strength to get up from the mat that may have, you've been laying on for a while, or get up from that place where somebody spoke something over your life to make you feel less than. Get up from that place where you feel like, I'm still waiting for that particular door to open and it hasn't opened yet. Just keep on pressing. Keep on recognizing that it truly is all about timing in our lives, but you got to get up and do something while you're waiting, right? You cannot disqualify yourself because of one bad situation. I disqualified myself from a lot of things because of my stinking thinking that I was so overwhelmed that I would never see the sunshine again. That was crazy thinking. I was thinking that nobody cared about my joy of loving to write, or my joy of loving to speak to people about life, about coming together to share our experiences. But I found out that there's a lot of people that enjoy the things that I enjoy. And the same with you. You have a lot to bring to somebody's world. You just can't disappear from it. I know you're like, what are you talking about? Come on, you know. You know what it's like to say, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just going to stay here in my little bubble. I don't like people anyway. I've heard people say that, but it's coming from a place of stagnation. It's coming from a place of holding on to things and not releasing it. Could be a grudge. Someone spoke something over your life that kind of hindered you. But those things can be changed around. You can flip the script on that, honey. You can come to a place where you recognize I do have purpose. Get some clarity. Clarity comes with having one foot in front of the other in order to see your way out of the clouds. Don't ever think that you don't matter because you don't have it all together. We all think we have to have everything together before we make a move. And you know what that does? It makes you stay in the background even longer. It makes you feel as though you're inadequate, and you're not. You've done a lot of things in your life. You probably raised some kids, raised some children in the neighborhood. You're probably an auntie. Come on, you've done it all. But there are times when we all need to have a little encouragement over the humps that we may face in our journey, in whatever season that you're in. You could be in a great place. You can put this video in your pocket for another time. Or you can share this with a friend who is going through a hard time right now. Everyone is having their own experience in this thing called life. And there are differences in our cultures, in our ethnicities, but the main thing that we have in common is we all go on the journey of triumph, tragedy, victories, victims. We've all been in every setting. We've lost some things. We've gained some things. We've been in community. We've worked some jobs. We've raised some children. All of that gives you the brilliancy and the receipts to know that you are not underqualified. It means that you have a plethora of experience. And for you to underestimate yourself at this time, you're doing yourself a disservice. Everyone can look and take a page out of somebody else's life and think, wow, I wish I could be like them. Let's face it. Some people, their content or their strides in life may look more appealing than the things that you have accomplished. But it does not negate the fact that what you have accomplished is still noteworthy. Therefore, I want you to be encouraged to know that what you bring to the table is worth a lot too. It's expensive too. Be goal driven and be in competition with no one but yourself. When I got that revelation, it changed the game for me. I'm not trying to race anyone to the finish line of anything. I'm just trying to enjoy the journey. Take times out of that walk that you're walking and smell the roses. Sometimes, if you want to, if you still got it in you, take your little jog and think about how much you have overcome thus far. And think about how many people that you have helped along the way through your advice, through the monies that you've given, everything that you have done, it is not lost. Your accomplishments are many. Therefore, being 50 plus, you are not behind the 8 ball. You're actually using that wisdom to catapult you into your next season. Be encouraged, my sis. Until next time, keep on blooming.